Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Business Talk. I'm your host, Bill Metcalf. And today we have an exciting guest, George Huang, who will be showing us a powerful new tool for business owners and chief executives. You know, for the most part, top executives are faced with driving their businesses blindfolded when it comes to their financial performance. Yes, of course, there are P&L statements and balance sheets that we can pore over diligently, but quite frankly, most top executives and business owners don't have the time to devote the hours of study needed each month to make strategic use of the information in these reports. They need a fast and easy way to take a financial snapshot of their business, and then they need to know exactly what they should do to fix that poor performance. I mean, it's not enough to know what areas are not performing well. You also need strategies for change. And that is precisely what George Huang and his partner Dan Bowser have created in their new financial dashboard. Welcome to the show, George.
Hi, Bill. Thank you very much.
George, why did you decide to create this tool?
The motivation for this project was based on work that both Dan and I had done with our clients, and we knew that we wanted to create a tool that would answer questions that our clients have asked us for years, like, what do I need to know about my business? What do I need to watch? How do I go about improving my business? And what are my financial statements really telling me, and then what do I do with it?
Well, what does it actually cost a top executive or owner to not have this kind of financial guidance? I mean, what have you seen in your clients?
What can happen if they're not using their financials to guide their strategies and their problem solving, then they may be solving problems they don't have, and they may be engaging in marketing strategies that are doomed from the start to be ineffective, and they may be missing problems that they actually do have.
So you're saying that the financial information we're looking at should be sort of like a bellwether. So when we're having trouble with our company, we should be able to look at these financial performance indicators, and it should guide us in terms of what strategies we should do next to grow our company. Is that essentially what this is about?
Absolutely. But the problem is most businesses are not set up to use their financials that way.
Are there other tools like this on the market?
Yeah, there's some as inexpensive as $50.
Oh, I like $50. That
yeah,
sounds
it's good, but it doesn't give you a whole lot for the dollar.
Okay.
And then there's some other more expensive tools that we've seen that range from $10,000, $15,000, and on up.
Well, my financial performance is pretty critical to me, so why not buy the highest priced tools?
Well, the more expensive ones are really designed for people who already have a financial background.
Oh, so in other words, you have to be a financial wizard to use the tool?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And
well,
then, or else there's a huge learning curve.
Well, if I'm a small business, I mean, it sounds like those tools for those, really huge businesses are really expensive, but maybe I'm a small business. Maybe I can get by with the low-price tools. What would I miss if I was working with the low-price tools?
You would miss some of the information and the presentation of the information and the ability to interpret that information and turn it into something useful. If your business is anywhere from startup to, say, up to $100 million in annual revenue, we know from our experience that even businesses of that size have trouble with interpreting their financial data. They may have a financial department at the higher end of the revenue scale, but those people in those departments typically don't have the time to calculate the information that would really make a difference for them on a monthly basis. They're too busy dealing with other things.
So overall, what would a top executive get by using this tool? I mean, having it and using it every month?
The people who need to know at the leadership and managerial level will, at a glance, be able to see and understand their financial performance. They'll be able to get pointed in the direction that require their focus and attention. And they'll have a better understanding of what kinds of strategies and tactics they can use or need to be considering to improve the situation.
Okay, George, now you sent me one of these dashboards, and I'm opening this dashboard up now and with a demo company that you've put in here, and I have to tell you, it looks a lot like any other spreadsheet with a lot of numbers, just the kind of thing that we're trying to get away from. So is there a shortcut that an executive can use when they look at this dashboard every month? I mean, what are they going to study?
Absolutely. They go to the summary dashboard sheet, and all they need to do is look at the arrows.
Yeah, or the red and green ones here.
Yes.
Okay.
And then when you get a red arrow, you just double click on the cell with the red arrow, and then a strategic advisory box will show up.
Yeah, I see that. Let me scroll over here a little bit. Yeah. Okay. And so this box does what for me?
Well, the box will give you, where appropriate, it will give you a description of what that indicator is. If you're getting a red arrow, the box will tell you what it means that you're getting a red arrow. And then it'll also give you recommendations for strategies and tactics for improving that particular.
I see. So as I scroll down here, it first tells me what it is, and then tells me what to do about it.
Right.
Well, who made up that stuff? How do I know that's good?
That's a great question. Between Dan and I, we have more than 38 years of experience in the business world, operating our own businesses and working with other entrepreneurs to grow theirs. We work with growth-oriented companies up to $100 million in annual revenue in all major industry categories. Now, Dan has his degree in business. His specialty is business valuations, mergers, acquisitions, and exit planning. And for more than 25 years, he's been helping business owners to make their businesses more profitable and more valuable. Since 1999, I've been coaching entrepreneurs who want to make more profit and still have more time and energy to enjoy it. So after working with hundreds of entrepreneurs over the years, we've put our collective experience and observations into the suggested strategies and tactics that are an important and integral part of the strategic financial dashboard. So these strategies are based on what works in the real world, and they do work.
So, George, do any other dashboards have this kind of advisories included with them? I mean, I know there are other dashboards out there that will give you some information about ratios and so forth, but is there another dashboard on the market that actually has these advisories connected to that?
To the best of our knowledge and our research, there is no other dashboard that has the strategies and tactics integrated in the dashboard.
So if they get this information, the owner is still stuck with knowing what to do about it.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, George, how hard is it to use this tool? Can you give us kind of a tour around the dashboard?
Sure. So let's look behind the summary page to see how the data gets into the dashboard. So what you want to do is just click on the tab at the bottom called Data Entry.
I see that right down here. Okay.
The data you see here is taken from your income statement and your balance sheet, and that comes from whatever financial accounting software your company uses.
I see. All those look familiar to me.
And what we found is that it takes about 5 minutes to enter each month's worth of data. So you could enter an entire year's worth of data in about an hour. And we recommend that everyone input at least 1 year's worth of data to begin with so they can get a full picture of their company's performance. All right? Then if you go back to the other tab marked Summary, you'll see what the dashboard does with the data. Okay, so on the left half of the page, you'll see the results for the last 12 months.
Right. And then the current month on the right side.
That's right.
Okay.
And you'll see that under the results column, we now have the data that you entered directly from your income statement and balance sheet.
Right, so that just gets imported over here.
Yep. And now the magic begins. So under income analysis, you can see that Wacky Widgets' gross profit is 17% of its total revenue. But if you continue to the right, you see 20.1% listed under a column called Target. The numbers you see in this column come from industry benchmarks, and they're specific to Wacky Widgets industry. So for a different industry, the targets would be different.
Okay, that makes sense.
This allows a company to compare themselves to other businesses in the same industry or a comparable industry. These targets, they're only a starting point. You can change these target values on the data entry sheet. In fact, could you hop back there once, Bill?
Yeah, back down here.
Yeah.
Oh, there they are. So you can just go in here and you can, if you decide you want to stretch yourself, you can go up higher. Those industry standards, do they offer kind of like the median and then here's what the really hot shot guys do?
Yep.
Okay, so you can use those as kind of targets. Okay, that makes sense.
Okay. All right, so let's go back to the summary sheet.
Okay.
And then if you find the column to the right of the targets, it's labeled deviation. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
You'll see the percentage deviation from the operational benchmarks or targets that were entered in the data entry sheet.
Okay.
But here's the thing. It shows it as percentages and numbers, but people can't really interpret these numbers, especially on the fly. At least most people can't. So what we've done is created another column called flags.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. And what happens in the flags is if your deviation from your targets is 10 or more percent, you'll get one flag or arrow. If you deviate 20 or more percent, you'll get 2 arrows. If you deviate 30 or more percent, you'll get 3 arrows.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Then, of course, if you hover over any of the cells that have an arrow, you'll get the strategic advisory boxes that pop up.
Yeah, they're popping up all over the place
exactly.
every time I slide around.
They remind you what the item is. They give you strategies and tactics that are suggested to help you either overcome the situation or take advantage of your good performance.
So if I take a look here at Wacky Widgets, I can see that their gross profit, basically, because of this red flag, their gross profits are too low and they need some kind of attention, while the operating expenses, they get a green arrow over here, so the operating expenses are not too bad. But if I scroll down to the bottom here and I look at the assets and I look at our inventory turnover, well, that's pretty good. We got 3 green arrows, but man, when I look down here at this bottom one, this payables outstanding, we don't pay our bills very often. It looks like they're pretty late. So then if I click on this and I slide my thing over, here are the things that I can do to be able to fix this. And so I could use surplus cash, if any, to pay suppliers. I could negotiate a line of credit to be used exclusively to pay suppliers, or I could communicate with suppliers and vendors that I expect to pay late. I suppose that's a good idea to let them know that there's a problem, so that they give me a little bit of a break here. So I think I'm beginning to get it now. The idea is that I can see at a glance where I stand as a company. I can pick key spots to focus on, like the red arrow section, and then I can look to create a strategy. And I'm assuming after you create a strategy, and you say this is January when you do this, and 3 months later in March you're looking at this, you'd expect to see those 3 red arrows dropping to 2 and then 1 and eventually into green arrows over time. Is that basically it?
You got it, Bill.
This just looks so simple, George. I mean, how do we get started? What do we do next?
Well, what you'd want to do is go to the website that gives you, one, information, but it also gives you the ability to order the strategic financial dashboard.
I see. There's a link right here at the bottom of the page.
Right,
okay.
Right. And that URL is actually www.strategicfinancialdashboard.com.
Okay. And so we go there, and it'll tell us the current price. And then let's say I download this kit. How long do you think, realistically, from the time I download your product, would I be sitting here looking at a finished piece like we're looking at right now?
Well, we recommend that the business enter at least the past 12 months of financial information. Mm-hmm. And we know, again, from timing this, that takes about an hour to do. Mm-hmm. So from time of installation to being able to have information that can guide them is about an hour.
So, George, suppose I get it and I download it and I look at it and I don't like it. I don't think it's what was advertised. Is it guaranteed?
Absolutely. We don't want anybody to be using something or to have something that doesn't work for them. So we have a 90-day money-back guarantee.
So we can get it, we can download it, we can use it, and we could get a lot of information here. But if we don't like it, up to 90 days, we can still get our money back?
Right.
Wow. So what do they do next?
Well, the next step is to go to the website and click on the order link at the bottom of our website at www.strategicfinancialdashboard.com. And if there are questions, they can also email us through that website.
Great. Well, fabulous, George. You know, folks, it looks to me like this is a real winner and there's no risk in trying this product. So I suggest you stop listening, click on that order link, and just try it out. The only thing you have to lose are the blindfolds that are keeping you from strategically growing your business. And so for Business Talk, this is Bill Metcalf and George Wong wishing you fabulous success in your business this year.